Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia, and we are live from our very unfinished video bay, and I'm just getting set up for a second here, so I'm going to spin the camera around. You guys are going to be awfully disappointed what you're seeing here. There we go. All right, what I was going to do is I'm going to refresh my page here. As I do that, you'll be able to see how to join our live videos. If you're watching after the fact, you just refresh our page after right around 2 o'clock every day. You click the Live Now button there. And again, if you're watching after the fact, that's how you get in. So just so you know, as I'm doing these videos, your comments will fill my screen as I'm filming, but I won't be able to see those perfectly. They just they show up and they disappear. So I'm going to be checking in here for comments. So feel free to comment away the entire video, and I will come back to them. Even if I don't answer it right away, I will come back to those comments. So I've got lots of information here on the Seltos, and which panic alarm? Anyways, I got lots of information on the Seltos here, and I've got the Kia Soul as well. Which panic alarm is louder? Yeah, maybe we'll do that at the end of the video. I'm sure everybody is working with me. Just so you know, I may have a couple people, Pat or Tim may be helping me with videos here as well. They may be in the comments section, so I'll point them out as they're helping me if they're helping me. They also have other jobs to do as well. Just so you know, we are here in our unfinished video bay. Now, it is a darker day outside right now. We're working with no lighting in here, so I've got a couple extra lights in here just to help us out. I am here because I assist with our service department, and as part of essential services, I'm allowed to be here, and I have other people online willing to help me here as well. This is our every day, 2 o'clock, we're going to do a live video, and we're going to talk about different cars. So if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. And we are going to go through a couple different cars today. So if traditionally we've just gone through one single car, I'm going to try to do 2 cars at the same time. And really what I'm going to focus on is the difference between these 2 cars and some of the similarities. And I'll show you what I've got here. We've got 2 cars, and we'll dive right in. So right over here is the Kia Soul. So what I did is I tried to guess what you guys would like to see. And this is the Kia Soul EX Premium. Now this one is the GT line. Now if you are in the States, you may think it's the GT is different than our GT line. Our GT line is essentially an option package. It gives you a D-cut steering wheel, gives you this red line along the bottom there, and it gives you roof racks across the top. It also gives you a little bit different bumpers. Out front, I'll show you here. We'll show you the back one in a second. So our GT line is really, for practical purposes, it's a visual display, or it's a trim package that shows a different look, and it adds the roof rails. So I chose it because it puts it a little more on par with this car because it also has roof rails. So both cars are premiums. This would be a EX Premium here and an EX Premium of the Soul. Now, they don't compete exactly side by side. There's about a $3,000 difference between the 2 cars. There are some differences in what you get. So tell everyone about virtual test drives. Yeah, we'll do that in a second for sure. So there are a couple differences here in what you get. So again, sometimes for some people you may want to step down to just the EX. Other people may say the SX, and same thing with the Soul. But these are very similar cars in some ways and very different in other ways. So if you're watching live right now, we should tell you that of course the car sales business has changed. We can't take you into our showroom right now, but we can do virtual test drives. And if you like the idea of this video for a lot of you just to see live, imagine this with just you, and so we're showing out the specific vehicle features for just you. So you could ask those questions. We do FaceTime and other things like that to show our vehicles. So we've done online sales for a while. It's not new for us. It is new for some of our customers. And yeah, so some of you are talking about horsepower. So what I did is I chose 2 cars with identical horsepower. These cars have the same engine, same transmission. So the real genesis of the Seltos is a lot of people wanted the Soul all-wheel drive. And when the 2020 Soul came out, it did not come with all-wheel drive. And we were told there was a vehicle coming. And this is the vehicle that showed up. So personally, I'm quite happy about that. I own a Kia Soul. I think this is a better option for an all-wheel drive Soul than just an all-wheel drive Soul. We're going to talk about some of that. But again, some of you may like the Soul, and we'll go into that as well. All right, styling features, we'll start up front, just real simple and easy. I haven't got the lights on right now, but you will see this is the LED light model. So of course, both the Soul and the Seltos have an option to have LED headlights or halogen headlights. These ones both have the LED headlights, and they are very, very similar. In fact, I'll just turn them on for a second for you. Bear with me here. Turn the key to on, turn the lights to on. I'm gonna do the same thing with the Soul just so we can compare them. That's the one benefit of having a darker room right now, is the lights will show up really nice and clear. Oops. Turn the car to on. Turn the lights to on. There we go. So we'll show you both. Now, to me, these headlights are both very similar. You can see that they have nice sharp cutoffs when they display. This one's a little harder to show just because it's not as clean as straight of a wall. But they both have nice sharp cutoffs, nice white lights. So you'll see they have, and hopefully I'll try to show you, along the top here, you'll see that that there is the LED lights, and that LED light carries into there, right to there. And that's your running light. Then I've got my my LED headlights there, which are very difficult to show. And you've got LED fog lights. Those are 3 individual bulbs, and you have the same idea down here with the Soul. Now, I haven't got the fog lights on. Bear with me for a second. I'll turn them on. I'll put the window down in the car so I can reach that. There we go. Live video. I'm almost prepared. Okay. So you can see very similar LED lights down there and the fog lights down there. Hello, Epic Bubble. So really, you've got the same headlight package in both cars. If not the exact same bulbs, they are certainly very similar. They project very similar as well. And in the same idea in the rear of the vehicle, you've got sort of fancier lighting in these trim lines. So I'll show you the rear of the Seltos here. So you can see that there. Nice sort of unique lighting there. And same thing over here on the Soul. Now the Soul has a little bit different base lighting as well. It can have a little different trim light over here. The brake lights for the Soul are in between there. The Soul has yellow signals right in there. The Seltos does have separate signals, but they are red signals. So they function like a separate yellow signal, but styling-wise, they decided to go red. So a couple little differences there. We're gonna hop in the Seltos first, because that seems to be the one you have most curiosity about. And keep asking your questions, guys. If I'm missing them, I will come back to them. And so don't fret if I've missed them. I do have some guys helping me as well, may answer some of your questions that I don't get to. All right, here we go with the Seltos. The big thing I like about the Seltos is in here you have a nice clear screen, and they've changed the way this works. You've got park, reverse, neutral, drive on that side. You have your speed right there in the digital display. Now, it used to be that you had, let me just show you here, fuel economy like that, and if you had that, you could not show your speed. Now all of these different things here can be displayed while showing your speed. Yeah, Tim wants to know how's the availability of the Seltos. If you want a Seltos or a Soul, we've got lots in stock. We can get you any type, any kind. Some of them you can drive home, I won't say this afternoon anymore, but you could drive home tomorrow in. So lots of availability there. Now, there is a 10¼ inch screen here. What's interesting about this 10¼ inch screen, if you've seen a Telluride video in the past, this has different software. If you've seen a Soul video in the past, it has different software. So little bit differences in software back and forth, very, very similar. The big thing you end up with in the Seltos is this function right here. You can change the user, which means if I share the car with, let's say, Tim, our sales manager, I can set it up as either guest, driver 1, or driver 2. If I set it up as driver 1 and driver 2, that means when I go to the radio, I have my own presets in this car, and Tim will have his own presets in this car, and the way it's all set up, the layout, everything like that, is all set up for individual users. Huge advantage, I think, for the Seltos. I'd love to see that in the Soul, but they don't have that right now. Climate control. You got a pro and a con here. Nice sort of new climate control system. It has this fancy auto system with 3 levels of auto. So in other words, when I turn this on auto with the 3 lights up here, it'll allow me to have full fan volume. But if we don't, I can turn this down to low. So for instance, the fan volume on that can be turned down. It'll still keep it to 20 degrees Celsius, where I have it set, but it won't blast the fan. So that's one unique feature. Now I'm gonna just show you real quick the climate control in the Soul, because it's different. And if you want dual zone climate control and you don't need all-wheel drive, this one has it. So again, very similar look in the car, but you're gonna see a difference in the dash. The EV Soul, which is what I drive, has a larger display screen in the center between the dash. Over here, you have the same looking screen here. So you lose that a little bit more modern screen in the premium version here versus the premium of the Soul, but you gain, or sorry, you lose that there. And then here, same thing with the Soul. You have the 10¼ inch screen, which I love the software on here, but you don't have the user, individual users. You do, however, have dual zone climate control. You can see how I set it there to different left side, right sides. I can change them up here. So right side's warmer, left side's cooler. Now, this premium model, Panoramic roofs. Oh, okay, we can talk about roof. So I'm just sort of half reading some of these comments coming through, but I'll jump in them in a second. One thing in the Kia Soul Premium, I'm going to turn the light on the car. Bear with me, I have an accessory light. There we go. All right, so in the Soul, again, same engine, same transmission, same shift lever. You do have heated seats, 2 levels of heated seats in the Kia Soul, in the premium level, and actually every Soul, I believe, has only 2 levels. Now this premium model with the GT line has a cloth leather mix, where you can see there, the GT line adds that red stitching, which I think is quite nice, and again, that GT line gives you the roof rail, so it'll put you a little bit more on par with the Seltos. What you don't get is ventilated seats, which you do have in the Seltos EX Premium. So it's not just an all-wheel drive jump when you go from EX to EX, EX Premium to EX Premium from Soul to Soul. You do still have on both cars the wireless charge pad down here, storage area down there. Same idea, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Again, same 10-inch screen there. I saw you guys talking about Panoramic Roof. Neither the Seltos or the Soul for 2020 or 2021. The Seltos is 2021. Neither one has a panoramic roof, but both premium models do come with a sunroof. And of course, it slides and rolls as well. I want to show you, I'm going to jump into your comments now. We're about 11 minutes in. So I want to show you a couple little specs here. And then I'll jump into your comments that I've missed. I know Pat's helping me out, and I think Tim is helping me out as well still, both of which are working, so they may jump in and out of this chat. Here is a comparison book that we have between Seltos and Soul. Anything where you see red, on this chart there under the Soul, the Soul has the advantage. So really what you're looking at is front and rear, rear seat headroom and legroom is bigger in the Soul. Everything else is bigger in the Seltos. And I mean everything else. The Seltos is very good size for its class. And we'll show you the trunks here. I'm going to show you the Seltos trunk like this. Again, I'm working with limited light here. Oh boy, I might have to turn on another light there, or I'll just pop this down in a second. But the Soul here has, and I have an accessory light here because I'm working with, again, we are in our unfinished video bay, so if you guys are just tuning in now and you're wondering why it's so poorly lit in here, we are doing this as part of the COVID-19 situation. You can see that, we're working in sort of limited conditions. So there's the Soul mats touching the floor, or touching the back seat of the Soul, and you can see, maybe a hand width of space there. Now I'm going to take the same mats, and I'm going to touch them to the back of the Seltos. Now this seat is down a little further, or the floor is down. So you can see those mats there, they have, probably 1.5 feet compared to 6 inches. So I'm not great with my measurements, but the point is a lot more length to the Seltos floor, and a little more height there, of course. Now the Soul's very square, but those seats come back and lean into it a little bit more. So the Soul has one position for the rear level seats. They're tilted sort of where they are, whereas the Seltos, you can tilt those seats. So let me just give an example. The Souls are like this. You can tilt them back further in the Seltos. So the Seltos can have more upright seats and more limited seats. Let me jump to your questions now. I will come back to them. We're about halfway through. We're going to go for about a half an hour or longer if you need us to. Let me just see what I've missed real quick. I'm going to set you up so you can see the car. And I know that you had some questions, so let me jump in and grab them for you right now. All right, scrolling to the very top. Whoa, there's a bunch of them. Okay, panic alarm is louder. We'll do that later. Horsepower, same engine on both these. So same engine transmission, 147 horsepower on both transmissions. It's a CVT transmission, which is it's an IVT, Kia calls it. Somebody wrote a great comment about it. They said if you've driven the early Nissan CVTs, this is nothing like that. And that's a very accurate comment. These are, a lot of people have sort of preconceived notions about the IVT, and it's really nice here. Test drives online, we'll talk about that in a second. 2020 Rio with halogen. Okay, we'll talk about that question later. High beams, LED also, yes. All high beams and fog lights are LED on these cars, and they have auto high beam. So auto high beam turns on and off, works really, really, really well. You want a Seltos? Greetings from the UK. Hey, thanks. Stinger versus Optima we'll do in a bit. Let me scroll back to some of those. Is there anything I'm missing, Pat and Tim? All-wheel drive cells in sedan. Okay, we're looking at a different car. Okay. Pat, if you're still watching, two-tone interior, exterior. Okay, so two-tone interior or exterior. So the Soul has black leather or black cloth inside. The Seltos has a option for not the white cloth. So that's the one bone I have to pick with, or the white leather. The Seltos, excuse me if I'm wrong, I think it has one option for color. Pat's gonna have to help me out here. The one issue I have with head office is they did a great video on the Seltos, but they showed the premium interior in a gray or white leather. It does not have that in Canada this year. So great informational video, but the visuals were a little bit off because that was a pre-production car they used, and it doesn't have that. So I don't know if that answered everybody's question there. Power seats. The other thing I should point out, these leather seats here that you see in the Seltos, let me get the interior light on this car as well. There we go. I believe the Soul has real leather seats. I'll double check. We'll talk about the DCT in a second. Just black leather for the Seltos. Okay, there we go. So both cars are just single trim or cloth, of course. The EX trim of the Seltos, so EX and above. So the trim lines go LX front wheel drive, LX all wheel drive, and then EX up from there. All EX models have this, what they call this Softex or leather. It's not a real leather, but it's a very nice leather. It has a nice grip to it, works really well, doesn't get you too hot or cold. You can see these ones here has 3 levels of heat seating and 3 levels of ventilation as well, where the Soul only has 2 levels of heating. If you need leather seats in a Soul, you're jumping up a trim line. Now you're still under the price of the Soul, or you're still down from the price of the Seltos, but you'd have to go one trim higher, which is the EX Luxury model, where this one has just the cloth and then the leather mixed with that GT line. You have some nice trim lines here with the Soul nameplate there. But to get leather in the Soul, you're going top line only, whereas a midline Seltos has that. Somebody asked how to clean it. Pretty easy, just wipe it down with just something damp. It cleans it really well. You can vacuum it out. This leather I find to be very durable. I'm not a huge leather fan. So yeah, you clean it kind of like normal leather. I find it wipes down quite easily with most of the stuff that we have that I put into a car. So that's easy to clean. 17-inch rims on the Seltos EX Premium. And you can get 17 inches on the Soul, but this one here has 18-inch. So if you want a little bit more sporty ride, sporty feel, the Soul is gonna give that to you. And will we get remote start? Okay, so here's a great question. This car here, the Soul, I believe, yes, it has UVO intelligence and so does the Seltos. Let me just shut this trunk for a second. I'm gonna turn the lights off. I'll show you the key. They're almost identical in both cars. So bear with me here, I'm just turning the lights off. Let me grab the key for the Seltos here. I have it hanging up in the visor. So you can get UVO intelligence on these cars, which is an app that controls a whole bunch of things, including remote start. The complaint has been that the only way to remote start these cars without putting an accessory on is with that UVO intelligence app. So again, you can start them both from your app. The Seltos key is different. Both keys are identical this side. So you have a lock button up top, you have an unlock button there, and a horn button there, panic alarm there. What you gain on the Seltos only is this right here. If I hold that down, it's gonna remote start. Now there's some safety features in there. If I hold it down into a closed environment, if it senses too much CO2 or too much pollution of some sort, it will shut down. So if you accidentally start it when it's in your garage, it will shut down. But big feature there on the Seltos, you do have a key with an extra remote start built into the key. So UVO Intelligence, if you haven't heard, is a 3-year plan. It is, a lot of people talk about it being similar to OnStar. I'm probably not supposed to say that, but it really is. A lot of features there, like you can unlock your car, lock your car, works all from a smartphone app. You have some buttons on the mirror, and I'm just trying to look for my page. Maybe the Soul page has it, to show you what's available with the UVO Intelligence. Bear with me here. I've got them all stapled together and I can't put my fingers on it. Come on. So UVO Intelligence, right here, almost. Page 5. Pages are stuck together. There we go. This is sort of the internal document I'm not supposed to show everybody, but I will anyways. So, internal documents. This is what you can do with UVO Intelligence. Lock the doors, remote start, and of course, when you remote start, there's a temperature control, so you can set the temperature, the front defrost, heated steering wheel, and back and side defrost. So that's on the Soul, and all of those features there, you can see, are activated by that remote app. Free for 3 years. After that, we'll figure out what they charge for that. Now, the Kia Soul has one feature the Seltos doesn't that I'm a big fan of, and it's not in every Kia Soul. I have it on my EV Premium. It's not on my Kia Soul EV Luxury. But I want to show you right down here. In the winter, turn the climate system off. This button right here, it is not your front defrost with vents. It is a front defrost with electricity. So there's a little tiny grid. Now I can't film it. I can't show you on camera just because there's such tiny, tiny, tiny lines. You can't see it at all in the window unless you're really, really paying attention. But what it does is it works sort of like the rear defrost, and it electrically heats up the windshield and defrost the windshield. It's a great wintertime feature that I've used all the time on my car. The Seltos does not have that function. So just a kind of a unique little thing that not a lot of people know about, but very, very similar, you know, very different feature way to defrost the windshield. And I'm a big fan of it. A lot of people think that's just to defrost only by the wipers. It is not. It defrosts everywhere. All-wheel drive, of course, is standard on every Seltos except for the LX front-wheel drive. So anything above an LX, you will have all-wheel drive. Let me just jump into the questions here. Tim's saying, the trims for the Soul? Yep. Okay. Tim wanted me to talk about something. Do you guys have any idea when the new Cadenza, Optima, Sorento are coming? So, Cadenza, I'm not sure. Optima, we're working on that. Actually, to everything, all your questions, we were supposed to have the Sorento by the end of this year. We'll see if that holds true with everything that's going on right now. Optima, we haven't heard any confirmation on. It was going to be introduced at probably one of the auto shows that got canceled. And Cadenza, I'm not sure. We don't stock a ton of Cadenzas around here. New Optima this year. There we go. Pat's on this. Pat's helping me out. Does anybody have any questions about the Soul or Seltos that I missed? If you've missed them, feel free to throw them in right now. Talk about safety features. Okay, safety features is a great question. So there are some differences in here. I'll get to your question about automatic braking. The short answer is yes, they both have that. The long answer is they go about it in a little bit different ways on these particular trim levels. So one thing you have is blind spot detection on both these cars. They have rear cross traffic alert, so if someone crosses your path, they will have, you will be alerted in your dash. And when I talk about blind spot detection, you're gonna see, of course, everybody's seen this, come on. Little grayed out buttons right there. You can see those will turn orange on you. Now the one difference with the Seltos is if you are parked like you are right now and someone in the back seat wanted to get out of the car, if a car is coming up beside you, the car will sense that and will give an audible warning. It will beep at you to tell you don't open that door, there's a car coming. The Kia Soul does not have that. Now, you guys asked about automatic braking on the safety features. Great question. So both these cars have lane keep assist. You can see a little camera above the mirror there, straight in the center of your screen. Both of these vehicles have that. That also works for the autonomous emergency braking, works for other things like that. The difference is on the Seltos, it also has this radar plate. Now this radar plate gives you an extra feature. It gives you smart cruise control instead of just cruise control. We can talk about that in a second. If you have a question, let me know if you want to know about smart cruise control. But that radar plate adds the ability, so the camera will see cars ahead of you and it can see other things as well. The radar plate adds the ability to see pedestrians and cyclists as well. And of course, autonomous emergency braking. Now, the other thing, if you see a car with that radar plate in Kia's lineup, that means you will have that smart cruise control, which of course can keep the distance while you set the cruise control from the car in front of you, and it works in stop and go traffic. So when you have that feature, and I'll show you what it looks like on the steering wheel, so you don't have to look for it on the radar plate on the front, you can look for it on the steering wheel. Every Kia with this button right here has smart cruise control. So that is what you're looking for if you want smart cruise control. On this particular car, it works in stop and go traffic. And what that does for someone like me is it means that I can take the smart cruise control and I use it in traffic, whereas regularly in cruise control, I use it when there's no traffic. This GT line does not have that. You have to jump up to the luxury model in the Soul to have that smart cruise control as well. Acceleration fast and smooth, Forte GT. Yeah, we'll talk about those in 1 second. So, all right, so I think we're at 25 minutes now. If anybody has any questions about these two cars, I will jump onto them. And if not, we'll finish off with some of your questions about some of our other cars. Does it have rain sensing wipers? I don't believe either of these cars do, but I have to remember off the top of my head. So this one does not, which I knew that. I don't think the Soul does until maybe you go to the luxury. I'm not even sure if it has it anymore. So great question, because you stumped me there. Yeah, neither of these trim levels have that. So again, we're working with sort of one step down from the top on both of these cars, the EX Premium model on these cars. Same engine, same transmission. All right, so we are at about 25 minutes. Oh, SX Turbo Seltos, that's what I thought. Okay, so the top line doesn't, I'm not sure about the sole. I think it might as well. Pat's helping me out there with some of the things I can't remember off the top of my head. So just so you know, if you're just joining us, we do this every day at 2 o'clock. We usually do a walk around of a single vehicle. Today we tried to do it with both. Give me a thumbs up if you think that's a good idea. Thumbs up on the video. If you think we should do more like these, or if you'd like to stick to a single video, we can do that as well. Single vehicle in the video. I'm just going to jump through some of your other questions. I know I missed some non-Seltos and Soul related questions. So 5-year warranty, yes, it's a 5-year comprehensive warranty in Canada. 5 years of 5 years of roadside assistance as well. Sorrento, we talked about that. Will the Soul ever have independent rear suspension? Good question. The Soul, the Forte GT, they switched to independent rear suspension, while the regular Forte did not. So I think in theory you probably could, but I don't think they'll have that. And let me jump around, see if there's something else that I missed in there. Feel free, Pat, if you think there's something I missed that I should show, let me know. Pat's helped me out a lot here. Will there be a two-tone option in Canada? Not at this point. Oh, there you go. Tim's dropped in pricing. So if you need to see pricing, it's in the quotes there. If you're watching after, if you're watching this video after we've filmed it live, feel free to jump on our website for pricing. Soul seats have height adjustments. Yeah, I can show you the height adjustment. So both these cars have powered seats, but even every car we have has a driver's seat height adjustment. These ones, of course, are power, and this is the Seltos here. It is identical to the Soul in the way it works. Both seats are good. I would say the bolstering in this trim, oh sorry, this one's not power seat, so there you go. You stumped me again. This one is a manual seat on this EX Premium GT line, and there is the height adjustment. So if I push it down, it will raise. If I push it up, it will, oh sorry, that raises it. This lowers it like that. And hard to show you on camera there. Speaking of the seating differences, there is a side bolster, more side bolstering in this GT line than you would have in the Seltos. Both seats are very comfortable, driver's seat and rear seats. I'm 6 feet, I fit in, oh, here we go. I'm 6 feet and I fit in both these cars very well, front seat or rear seat. If you have a very tall rear passenger, again, the Seltos is no problem for me to fit, but the Soul is super class leading in rear seat headroom. Someone said something on both cars. I just missed what they were asking on both cars. If someone wants to rewrite that. All cars in Canada, yes, daytime running lights in Canada. Both trunks here, they do have a floor that raises and lowers. This one is set in the lower position right now. And now that I have mats in here, there we go. You can slide it in there. So you can raise and lower that floor. You can see right now it's level to the side. This particular car has LED lights in everywhere inside, but this is a halogen light in the trunk. And I just want to show you how to turn them on in the Seltos, which is a difference that they've brought into this car that I'm a big fan of. If I scroll up here, you can see that light. I could turn all the lights on by hitting that button. What I'm going to do now is just touch that light. If you just touch the light itself, or even just the rim for the light, it turns on, which is pretty cool. So that's a difference that they haven't done. And of course, styling differences, you have little things. Both have interior lights. When they have the 10.25 inch screen in these cars, you do have ambient lighting in these cars as well. A little difficult to show, even though it's a little dark in here today. A little difficult to show on camera, but we can show that in a future video if you like. So we're about 28.5 minutes. I think I've covered as much as I can. Fuel mileage. Okay, Pat's talking about fuel mileage. There we go. Let me just scroll down the bottom here. Lots of comments. Passenger seat height adjustment. Oh yeah, passenger seat height adjustment. That's a good question, because on our old Rio, the passenger seat was a little lower, and they've started fixing that in their newer cars. So let me just show you the passenger seat of the Seltos here. Again, on this car, same power seat as on the other side. You just don't have the lumbar support on the passenger side. This one was a manual seat on the driver's side. It is also a manual seat on the passenger side, but fairly tall seat there as well. So no real concern there. Driver's height adjustment. Both have tilt telescopic steering wheel. So, all right, we are at 29.5 minutes. If I didn't answer your question, feel free to ask it. I'll stay on for a minute or two. And if they're great, we'll just keep going and going and going. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up at around half an hour or so. If anybody has any vehicles they want to see, feel free to ask us in the comments section. I'm happy to show you any vehicle we have. We'll talk about your LED headlights in the Rio. We don't sell factory LED headlight replacements in the Rio, so that's the short answer is we don't do that at the dealer level. Soul EV we did just a few days ago, so I'd be happy to show you that one in the thing. We've got a bunch of Soul EV videos on our YouTube channel as well. Yeah, if you have suggestions, let us know here or when the video is done. If you're watching when it's over, feel free to let us know in the comments below. We plan to do this every day at 2 o'clock. So we're going to try to, at some point, we're going to hit some technology in the vehicles. So we'll talk about just the tech in the videos. And maybe we won't go half an hour. We'll see how we go. But half an hour seems to be a good length of time to let you guys jump in from whatever you're doing in your mid-afternoon. And I think, unless I miss something extremely important, I'm going to leave it at that. I do want to finish with a couple things. Our sales team has been selling online for quite a while, and a lot of you know that that's sort of changed for this whole COVID-19 thing. So for those of you who are interested in buying a car today, if you're in the greater, just general Ontario area, we can help you. We've been doing this for a while online. The only difference is that our customers have to get used to doing things online. So if you're looking to buy a car, we are absolutely willing to help you out. We can follow the health guidelines and also walk through the process. We're pretty straightforward. When we show you a car, we'll show you the features. If you want to see scratches, dents, and dings on used cars, we'll show you everything you need. And also, our service department is open if you're local as well. Give us a call, 519-304-6542 to book your service appointment, and we'd be happy to help you that way, meet your health guidelines, and make sure your vehicle is in tip-top shape as well. So thanks, everybody, for watching. We've just gone over 30 minutes today, and to hear from Dallas, Texas, you're willing to travel. Perfect. Anyways, thanks, everybody, for watching. Tomorrow, we will be live again at 2 o'clock. If you want to see what we're doing, or if we're never not here, there's my Instagram address. I always show you what I'm doing on Instagram first, so if you have a question you want asked or answered, feel free to comment on my Instagram post. I will always post the day of the video to show you what we're doing that day, and you can ask me on Instagram videos. So thanks, everybody. Virtual videos available anywhere. Yeah, Tim's writing. We can do, yeah, that's right. We delivered Teslas to things. Could I show the headlights on both cars? You know what? I did that earlier in the video. I'll do it again for you right now, and then we will check out. So hold on a second. Car. Oh, key's not detected. Why is the key not detected? Probably because it's in my hand. Where did I put the key? Oh, there we go. This is where the boss always gets scared that I lose the key. So we'll show you the headlights on one more time, and then we'll wrap up the video. Headlights are on, car is on. I'll walk around and do the lights one more time. How much for the EX Turbo? Pricing, you'll have to double check. Tim put it in the list otherwise. Illuminated. So there's the headlights illuminated. I'll try to show you. It's really hard to film lights that are on, but you can sort of see there. Bright lights there. That flickering is just, of course, LED lights reacting to the camera. So there's the Seltos. I will show you the Soul, and then we will wrap these up. I want to thank everyone for jumping in here, and I hope that you'll join us tomorrow as well. And if you have a suggestion of what we should do tomorrow, there's the Soul lights illuminated, and I'll try to show you from the side. Yeah, very difficult to film these, but you can sort of see them there. So there you go, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's been fun. I've enjoyed this, and we will see you again tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And yeah, there you go. Have a great day, everyone.